In the early morning hours of Tuesday, Canada's internet is one step closer to being just a state-run service. Yep, Bill C-10 passed through the House of Commons. I'm not really surprised. As hard as they've been fighting for this to happen, the votes were always going to be there. And the fact that they kept shutting down debate after debate, you knew something funky was going to happen. And especially when I see this as well, that it passes in the House at or 1:30 in the morning. What's that old saying? It's right there at the top of the Washington Post. Democracy dies in darkness. I don't know. It's normally pretty bright out here right now at this time of year in the middle of the night at about 1:30 in the morning. But, one thing's for certain, though. Even though it was a 196 to 112 vote in the House, it's got to go through the Senate. And what we're seeing right now, and the Senate up here in Canada is a lot different than the United States, okay? It's a totally unelected body. It's a lifetime appointment, and I couldn't name you more than one other senator than Pamela Wallin right now, who used to, and she made all of her bones being a journalist, but she seems fairly against this one right now, so it's something good to be looking at, so perhaps the people up there in the Senate might have their heads screwed on correctly, and this ends up dying up there, but it mostly acts as just a rubber stamp for whatever the Prime Minister and his party want, so we're going to have to see how this is going to play out in real life. What's next for the bill? It will go to the Senate. Senators have said that there is no chance that the bill gets approved the week before Parliament goes on summer break, according to law professor Michael Geist. The bill has been the topic of controversy for weeks, as supporters of the bill, mainly the Liberals, NDP, and Bloc Québécois, nothing good comes out of French Canada. It's fucking AIDS. Should have separated in 96. Would have saved a whole lot of heart and enlargement, say that the bill will introduce long-needed regulations on the internet that will protect Canadian politicians. The Conservatives, however, see the bill as one that is beyond repair and attack on Canadians' freedom of speech. Conservatives and people who have actually read the text itself and shared it with their audience. I don't know who else could have done that, but I'm just saying, we looked at it. It sucks. The Liberals attempted to shut down debate on Bill C-10, says Fort Saskatchewan. Hey, great place. MP Garnett Genius, I trust him, he's smart, by shutting down all conversation on the matter. It is not clear why Conservative Party of Canada has decided to back foreign web giants and ignore the needs of the Canadian culture sector. Steven Gibault. Canadian culture sector. Aren't you one of those assholes who think that there is no such thing as Canadian culture? That's cool. So you want to instill your own, but it's going to be rooted in censorship. I see what you're all about. Continued in a social media post. Oh yeah, cool. But the liberal government remains steadfast in its support of Canadian artists and creators that all believe what we believe, and normally they wouldn't succeed unless they got our artificial inflation, unless they had a little help from the government. Push their garbage out there, and we will suppress those who we do not want to have elevated. Yes, some voices matter, just like everybody's voice is equal, except for some people are more equal than others. Gibault blamed the Conservative Party for the 6 weeks of systemic obstruction on the bill. Somebody means business and they really have a good grasp of the facts when they're using words like systemic. Have served a notice last night of a motion to propose at the next sitting a motion to allot a specific number of days or hours to get the bill passed as soon as possible. It feels very much like you're trying to divide Canadians on this issue. NDP's Helen McPherson picks Gibault's media regulation bill apart. Interesting. NDP and Heather McPherson. The name rings a bell. It's just all of her complaints would fall on deaf ears for Jagmeet Singh's little political pet project. The bill could also give the CRTC overwhelming new powers. There's no could about it. Something that former Vice Chair of the CRTC, Peter Menzies, called a violation of rights on ordinary citizens. The thing is, outside of a couple of different interpretations that you could glean from the Canadian Bill of Rights, it's not really a violation of any specific rights. It's just more or less another encroachment of government into your everyday life. Something I'm not for. Something that I don't know anybody who would read the facts would really advocate for. Do you want the government telling you what you have to consume? I don't think we'd ever get to that point. There are some people out there who want the government to tell them how to live their life, what to put in their body. You know what I mean. But just like how we talked about the conservatives in the United States trying to get some sort of a commission, some sort of commission together with a lab leak in Wuhan, there's also one that was very important to look at and was very informative with the early research into the pandemic, which is still raging on right now. Like, I can see the bodies out there in the street, where a lot of the research into vaccines and figuring out what the fuck this virus was all about was the Winnipeg Research Lab. Okay, it's one of the big ones that are out there, especially in North America, and there was a security breach there. Oh, interesting. It's kind of weird considering all the technology and all the infrastructure that the CCP are allowed to buy up. And then in the previous video, we also talked about how China was deleting certain information out there. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Conservative MP Michael Chong, he brought it up, so he can't be racist. And others ripped the government and the president of the Public Health Agency of Canada, FAC, for not turning over documents requested by the House of Commons. In a rare move, FAC President Ian Stewart was brought to the bar of the House of Commons and admonished by the Speaker of the House for refusing to turn over documents to the House. And he's a Trudeau appointee. Do you think that he's going to face any repercussions for this? Nah, of course not. Just like Trudeau can get scandal after scandal after scandal, misappropriation of funds, benefiting his family members off of his name, depending on what contracts get awarded. No. He can just go ahead and continue to do this. Oh, one of my friends doesn't want to publish any papers? Go fuck you. We're just going to go ahead and push a censorious bill so we can obfuscate from the actual problems with the federal government. House of Commons possesses privileges that are integral to the part of the 1867 Constitution, such as the power to require the production of documents, said House of Commons Speaker Anthony Rota. As guardian of these rights and privileges, you're doing a great fucking job, Tony. That is precisely what the House is asking me to do today by ordering the Speaker to reprimand you for the Public Health Agency's attempt refusing to submit the required documents. It has been over 100 years since a similar event has happened in the House. Stewart refuses to hand over documents for the firings of scientists. I'm not even going to pretend to be able to say that, other than it's a Dr. Q and her husband, Kending Cheng. Stewart was told to bring the documents to his public admonishing, but showed up empty-handed, because of course he did. Why would he want to bring any evidence of his corruption? Q and Cheng are said to have organized the material transfer of virus samples to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, including the dangerous Ebola virus. Public Health says all measures were followed, but redacted documents show questions and concerns being raised. Q and Cheng were ultimately fired shortly after. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's not like we see a pattern of that happening. Oh, somebody did something a little bit funny. Somebody comes out whistleblowing, and then they get fired. Or if they know too many Clintons, well, you know the rest. This government, Mr. Speaker, is rolling back 18 decades of parliamentary evolution, with the defiance of now 4 orders of the House and its committees, said Conservative MP Michael Chong's opposition parties also banded together to find the government and Stewart in contempt of Parliament. Was he hit over the head with a stupid fucking mace? Smothered with one of those curly wigs? Once again, just another dog and pony show. And it's just like that fucking feckless piece of shit who leads the Conservative Party. Looks like a broken clock. Once again, he's right twice a day. He makes the right point, but again, it's just so fucking spineless and it has no conviction behind it. This dude is so inept. And the reason why, once again, I hate to say it, for like the next decade, I think Canada is right proper fucked. I really hope the People's Party of Canada starts to gain some traction, because this dude, as the leader of the right-wing party, yeah, he's so ineffective at his job, he should have Johnson & Johnson tattooed on his forehead. Conservative leader Erin O'Toole addressed his party's caucus and meetings on Parliament Hill on Wednesday, where he said he was concerned over the intentions of some activists. I am concerned that injustices in our past and our present are too often seized upon by a small group of activist voices who use it to attack the very idea of Canada itself, he said. We're seeing news this week that Canada Day celebrations being cancelled. Canada Day, Erin O'Toole emphasized. Yeah, because, what was it, last Sunday mentioned that in Kamloops, Canada Day has been cancelled. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the newest one. Kamloops, it has been cancelled. Victoria, the capital of British Columbia, cancelled Canada Day because some fucking bodies were found under a school. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Yeah, it sucks. It's tough. But there's more information to be found out there. And if you're going off of all of the reports of that stupid fucking corrupt Truth and Reconciliation Commission, let that sink in. Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Straight out of Orwell. But as much as I hate Erin O'Toole, he's right. As someone who served Canada and will soon ask for the trust to lead this country... I can't in good faith do it. I can't stay silent when people want to cancel Canada Day. Oh yeah, sure. Such a fucking flag-waving patriot. Sound like something close to that, but it's neither here nor there. There is not a place on this planet whose history can stand without close scrutiny, but there's a difference in acknowledging where we've fallen short. Yep, and you'll continue to bend over for people who want to push critical race theory. It's the exact same shit, you fucking moron. Buy some more turtle wax for your forehead. Listen, Canada's totally fucked. He's right on this, but once again, he misses the mark. It wasn't that long ago when we talked about, he's addressing the right topic, except he just fucking goes off in a completely stupid direction. That's what you should be doing. Look at the political people that are out there right now seeking higher office, okay? You got Marine Le Pen jumping way back to the lead in the French presidential elections that are going to be coming up. Okay, why? Because she learned from her previous run, okay? You could do the exact same, okay? Why didn't Andrew Scheer become prime minister? Because he is a charisma vacuum who just loves to enrich his own family. Okay, listen, what you do there, you look at the policies that Scheer was successful for. Don't worry, it won't take that long. You can just bring a post-it note, and then you can start to turn and see what's being successful around the world in similar countries, okay? And I don't think you have the balls to don a goofy little hat, pick up an AK-47 or a machete in order to lead a revolution. So you should probably just start looking at the more conservative types out there, considering you're supposed to be the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. But no, he's just going to fall flat on his fat fucking face, and we're going to end up with, 8 more years of Trudeau? Or he'll just have such an embarrassing defeat and it'll be a supermajority of just liberal tyranny, the party, not the ideology, that you'll just have to back out, and then just once again we'll have another worthless leadership conference where one other similar soulless dolt will stick their neck out. The Conservative Party of Canada is not really stocked with good people. There's that little Frenchman who just likes to speak up every once in a while, and he gets good headlines and he gets good clicks out of what he has to say, but outside of that, I don't know what his substance is. I don't know what he really puts forward. But Conservative Party is cucked, Liberal Party can do no wrong, and censorship is coming, so I won't imagine I'll be able to make this type of content very much any longer, but who knows, I could just run a VPN and start uploading from fucking Luxembourg or some shit. Who knows? I don't care. I'll continue to say that until they come and lock me up, because who gives a fuck at this point, right guys? I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Catch y'all later.